What is going on, Comic Fam? It's your boy, the Bearded Comic Bro, and I'm welcoming back to the show Ethan and Jessica. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Good.
thank you.
You
Nice to
all
see
are
you.
the creative minds behind Shockheaded Peter. I had you back on for Volume One, which how long ago was that?
Like 2.5 years. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
It's been a bit.
It is wild. And so we're back with a new Kickstarter, new volume in the Shockheaded Peter universe. If people before we hop into that, since it's been a while, how did you all get into creating comics? Did you always have a love for comics growing up, or was this kind of a later thing?
I would definitely say a later thing.
Mhm.
I mean, I had always, me personally, kind of been exposed to comics, like growing up near Golden Apple in LA. That was a store that I would go to and see things. But I was never, I gravitated more towards like film and TV and theater and stuff when I was younger. And comics was always kind of there, hovering in the background. And I always kept tabs on the stories and whatnot. But it wasn't until it was kind of posed to us by like Ryland Grant and Charlie Stickney that we should take this TV pilot we had and kind of convert it into the comics world that we really started looking into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same for me, like later on as well. Obviously, as a kid, there's like the big ones that you know about, but similar to Ethan. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love to, and like you mentioned Charlie and Ryland, and people fans of the show have obviously have heard them, and remind me, I need to have Charlie back on. It's been a while too, so but y'all are here with your Kickstarter. If someone for whatever reason, didn't get to experience the first volume, what's the elevator pitch for this overarching series, and then kind of where are you guys going with this next volume?
Okay, it's Shockheaded Peter is Labyrinth meets A Nightmare on Elm Street by way of Hayao Miyazaki. Haunted horror with a hint of heart. That's how we set it up.
A lot of heart, like a hint and a lot of
Well, the
heart to it.
Miyazaki bit is that heart,
Yeah.
is that, and Labyrinth, you kind of have this kind of kooky horror, Jim Henson-y fantasy vibe. And A Nightmare on Elm Street, our main character, who we describe as a mix between Willy Wonka and Freddy Krueger, is
Mhm.
Shockheaded Peter. Essentially, it's the story of the harbinger of punishment shows up in the small town of Winding Springs, and the young girl Ruby, who is troubled by her desire to join his disturbing crusade. That's the setup.
Yeah, and she's a girl who has like endured a lot of hardship, being bullied. I mean, she's a teenage girl, so she's not a kid, but she's in this time of her life where there's a lot of changes going on, and it's just like the perfect moment for this very deranged fairy godmother to kind of show up.
And just to remind you, this is all inspired by this really macabre 19th century German children's story called Der Struwwelpeter, which is the original German, who was drawn by this, looking back on it, maybe slightly deranged doctor who thought, hey, my kids don't have a story to teach them lessons at bedtime. And I think it's kind of regarded as the first ever picture book because he drew like 6 stories, cautionary tales of like, for example, like don't suck your thumb, otherwise someone's going to come and chop it off. And there's a picture of a kid with like blood splurting out, to tell your kids at bedtime.
Sleep
Yeah,
tight, kids. I'm
exactly.
I have two young kids and I'm just envisioning telling them that story going, Dad, why do you hate us?
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
exactly.
it's like the meme, like for a bedtime story, kids, your dad's gonna come and tell you a bedtime story, and it's Stephen King, and they're like, no, it's like that. Um, but yeah, so we took one of the characters from those 6 like anthology of stories is Shockheaded Peter, the slovenly boy, and we were like, what happened if this guy grew up? What would it be like? What would So that's kind of again reminding audience the spawn of this idea.
Yeah, and from there we build a whole world. It's, as you said, a fantasy horror, but it's completely something
Yeah,
we invented and imagined,
yeah,
a reimagining of it all.
yeah.
Yeah. So where was it like, how did you come across this character of Shockhead Peter? Like, it seems so obscure, so obtuse. Like, where did you like go like and like let's take this and run with it?
So I lived in London for a year. I was
Mhm.
studying abroad during my college years and saw a lot of plays and whatnot. And one of them was a junk opera, Shockheaded Peter, which scored by the Tiger Lilies. And so they basically took the original book, got it somewhere back there, and they kind of just verbatim took those stories
Mm.
and just did a little musical, review on stage. And it was fantastic, amazing. And I bought that book and we just had it here for years and years and years.
Mhm.
And then one point I looked on the shelf, we're like, huh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
And we just started chatting about it and over time, and then little ideas pop up here and
Well, we
there.
had done like a like anthology series, like the vein of the Twilight Zone, and we were talking to people, and they're like, "It's cool, but do you have anything more like elevated and this and that?" And then that's kind of like the seed when we were looking around. We're like, "Well, this is interesting." And
They said more commercial, because In Absentia was like a art house Black Mirror.
yeah. So
Okay.
that was kind of like the start, and when we were like, brainstorming and stuff, and we started talking
Yeah.
about Shockheaded Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually said we have one idea, and we were talking to someone, a manager, and they're like, "Oh, that's a cool idea," and then
Yeah.
we just kind of rolled with it.
I love it. So we're at that point then, like, the process of getting this going, you said kind of like you were like, why not make it a comic? Why was comic book graphic novel such a great avenue for this story?
Yeah, I think part of it is when we were telling people the story, it's a really big world, it's
Mhm.
fantasy horror, but it's very specific. So to really see it, instead of just seeing it on the black and white page, it was like, why don't you bring it to life? And a few of our friends were doing graphic novels, comics, and they're like, it's a really great way to introduce this world. And I think that's what
Yeah.
sparked it.
I think it was, so, like, our day jobs are in film and TV, and we work in that venue a bit. And I think it was Charlie Stickney who said, as a filmmaker, it's a really interesting venue to move into comics and look at the panels, like storyboards, or obviously you get into the nitty gritty about like page turns and how your panels can be different than just screen grabs.
Yeah, it's its own thing, of course.
But the way that he pitched it to
yeah.
us was really intriguing. We're like, oh, yeah, you're right. I know you're right.
Yeah, and it makes you so focused and like becoming more specific with what you're saying, because in a panel you don't have a moving picture, so it's like you got to put everything in there, and how does that have like its own action and its expression and the character's expression? So it's been something really, really cool to grow in and explore.
Very exciting and very fulfilling. And not to mention the communities, it's so awesome, like so awesome. I can't even like stress how great meeting people in this community, the creators and the fans. It really is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to say that.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of the fans and like last time, I had you both on, it was, in the midst of the Kickstarter, right? So like you're still working on it. You're still getting avenues out. So what was it like then, interacting with the fans at cons and stuff, and, the feedback from fans after that first volume came out and people were able to like consume something that you created and like get to share their thoughts?
I think,
Amazing.
it was great. And I think people weren't quite sure, because we did kind of come out of nowhere. Nobody knew us. We had no track record or anything. So I think people were like intrigued and like not really. They're like, "Oh, this is cool," but I don't know these people. So where is this going to go? Is this a series? Is this, it was all these questions that we hadn't answered, and we knew it was going to be a graphic novel.
Yeah.
It just took us, like you said, it's been a while since we've been on.
Well, and we knew that it was going to be in these three parts. So the first book that came out in 2022, it's like that very intro of the whole world and all the setup. So yeah, we're definitely delving a lot deeper.
But yeah, I mean, just to go back to your initial question, it is exciting and gratifying and fulfilling talking to people who enjoy it. And we had a couple people that we drew into panels, and one or two kind of reached out and were just like delighted. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. That's like a great, just to hear like someone reach out and be like, this is awesome. I'm so glad I did this.
Yeah, or running into someone, like I ran into someone a few months back, and they were like, when's the next one coming out? And that was really awesome. That was like, oh my God, okay, yes, there is going to be a next one. And that was just to feel that someone's still thinking about it. That's very cool.
Yeah, it is. I find it like it has to be an interesting medium to some degree, and art's like that with all forms. But I feel like this seems like it's been an idea in your head for a while, and then you had the Kickstarter, and it's a while. Like so, like from the start till like to finally getting into the hands of fans, like there's a long time sometimes between like when once you've created it and then getting that feedback and response from them.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. And it can be unnerving, a little aggravating, frustrating. I think sometimes there's a little bit of imposter syndrome in there, and you're like, I don't know, nobody wants this. You know, that happens, I think, with a lot of creators or artists. But because it had take so long the first time, and this second one, because we want to make it easier on ourselves, we decided to make the second iteration 108 pages. um you know
Naturally, I mean, why not, right?
Right. Because the first one, for those who don't know, the first one I think was 64,
60 pages.
60 pages. So now we're
let's why not just almost double it? Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And so it's taking longer, and because of that we also went ahead and wrote part 3 and are ready right after this finishes to kind of work with our artists to finish part 3 and then hopefully have the final Kickstarter next summer.
Yeah, that way there won't be such a lag between the first book, second, and third.
That's the plan, hoping that this Kickstarter is fully funded and we move through and just move straight on. And our artist Giuseppe Sabe Di Stefano in Italy, in Rome, he's been so great and so wonderful, and he's such a champ. He does everything on the book. He does the inks, the pen, pencils, the color, and the letters.
Wow. He's amazing. Yeah. And the art is gorgeous.
Oh,
and
it's
this
stunning.
Book, yeah, it is. And this book is even like, it's even more elevated. It's stunning. And it's, we're very excited to share it.
He's got so much better. Like, he did another graphic novel in Italy in between the first and second part. He's progressed so much in his art. He's getting so much more detailed. He was like, he redid the cover for part 1, and we kind of have a new part 1 coming out. We revised and annotate, did some
like
revisions.
A rebrand. Yeah.
New colorway, cover, wraparound cover that he did, which is, that one. But, the art has gotten so much better. And
I mean, it was already like amazing, but I think it's more about in terms of the story, because the story does get darker. It's just like maturing with the story.
Right.
So I think in that sense, he's already an amazing artist, but it's just like growing with the story it's just without a doubt really exciting.
Plus, we were figuring out with him what is the look of this book.
Right.
And we did the first time, that was the first time working with him. So we were figuring this out. And then when we came back for part 2, we just got deeper and we just more details, and then there's one page that we have coming that has 24 panels on it, stuff like that we throw them random crazy stuff.
Yeah, we're playing with like, we're really excited with like, we think people are, gonna really, really enjoy this new part.
How has that collaboration been, right? Like you said, you did the first volume. Now the industry better, each other better. Like, so how has that been approaching volume 2? Has it changed the dynamics of kind of creating or writing for them, or has it been very much similar?
Well, with our artist, or
with your artist, with the whole process.
Yeah, I don't know.
For us, I think writing part 2 and 3, we had a different outlook on it, and we felt more freedom. Like, 24 panels, this will work, or all these different, we literally were thinking outside the box, outside the panels, as opposed to the first one where I think we were very conservative,
more tentative, maybe because it's the first time and you're like, I want to get this right. I mean, I don't know if you can ever get it right, right? Because it's like, it's your interpretation, it's art. But I think, part of that, we ourselves are also, I think, progressing, in the sense of like being a little more comfortable and confident. Oh, okay, this could work, or imagining it, because like the first time around, you're like, how will this translate? And you're seeing it come to life as your artist is doing it, but then it's like having the whole book come together and being in the hands of people. So I think all of that experience just helps you feel more comfortable and like growing and you know, kind of I want to say just kind of taking other risks that
Yeah.
you might have
Right.
not.
Plus, you consume more books.
Yeah.
You're seeing more new stuff. You're getting introduced to other writers and artists,
And hearing their feedback too, because
yeah,
more people have seen your book and like, so I think all those like layers kind of help to, yeah,
like oh my God, what's that book? Patience. Who wrote that?
yeah, patience
That graphic novel.
is super cool.
Anyway,
It's in another on another
I'm
shelf right now.
blanking
But
on the artist, the writer artist name, but Patience is graphic
Patience.
novel.
I'm gonna write that down. I want to find out about it.
Phenomenal,
very,
phenomenal. And
very
like
cool.
but you see stuff like that, and you're like, you get ideas. You're like, oh my God, you can do that. Oh, that works. Oh, crap.
But going back to like how it also has changed with like our artists, I think obviously there's also that that trust. Like you've been working together, right, for a while. So like the communication, like it just becomes easier in the sense like you know how like, oh yeah, I got you, you know, it's like you're working together. It's like a team. And yeah, and then you like develop like a friendship, you know, it's like it's just like
Yeah.
just a different way than like the first time you work with someone.
I think with Joe, we basically just kind of hop back into it again.
Yeah.
It's like the same work
Yeah.
ethic because like it's you work on that a while, emails back and forth almost every day. Here's
Yeah.
these, here's this, here's
Yeah.
these, here's that. And then like during the because we're in LA and there are like the wildfires somewhere near us, he reaches out, he's like, hey, are
You guys
checking in on us.
okay? Like,
So there's
yeah.
stuff like that. And
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome. He's amazing. And
love to meet him in person
yeah,
one of these
we
days.
haven't met in person yet. It's all been like
Yeah.
thankfully technology, you know, but yeah, he's like we couldn't be luckier
Yeah.
collaborating with someone like him. Like seriously, like he's part of our team. We're a team of
Yeah.
three, so it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And you mentioned kind of, doing some new covers and aspects a little bit of, and to kind of maybe sync up, right? Like, so you don't have like stark contrasts of like, oh, if you back to volume one, and if you're like me, then you're like, oh, I want the other one that matches up with this volume two, right? Like you kind of want that collector aspect of it too. I think that's a neat kind of thing to do that you're giving to the fans then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's still all matches. It's just like progressing with the story.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, it's the same artist, of course. So it's like the books are going to match. It's not like, oh, it's completely different look and feel. It's still the same. It's just like almost like getting deeper as like we're getting into this more macabre world, you know?
But we did have an eye on looking forward when we're reprinting part one, our rebranded colorway with the new cover, the standard cover for part two. We definitely streamlined it and made it a little more sleek, thinking like, okay, these are going to be a volume because our plan is when we finish part three, we're going to also offer a slip case, so all three will fit into that slip case, and you'll have the full Shockheaded Peter. And
Yeah.
but one of the cover artists from part one, so part two, we only have two covers as of right now. So Joe does the standard one, and then we have a variant one done by this amazing artist, San Espina or Santiago Espina. I'm not sure which
Yeah,
he
I
goes
think he
by,
goes by
in
Sam.
Buenos Aires, I believe.
Yeah.
He does, so he did like, we offered like a metal foil variant.
Yeah.
The gothic one that we did
Yeah.
for book
It
one.
was like Shockheaded Peter as if he was some like goth, almost like a Hellraiser type character. And it was very, very adult and different. Not that Peter is an adult, but this was a very different type of cover. And so he did this version of Ruby for us. He does it, he hand drew it.
Yeah.
You could see when he sent us the picture, it was in like a spiral notebook with lined paper. And you're like, dude just did this, scribbled this by hand. It's amazing. And we're like, can we make this a cover? This is amazing.
Yeah. So that's going to be our variant, which we're also really excited about. Yeah.
We're trying to streamline and just make these feel very premium moving forward. So there's only two covers for part two.
Yeah. I mean, it's also going to be 108 pages, you know, so you're getting like a nice book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you it sounds like you've known from the get-go you wanted to tell this in three volumes. Has it, like, has it changed how much you wanted to get into the volume? Like, I know you said you made it harder by doing 108 pages this time, then like, did you always know this was going to be a bigger volume, or did it kind of go through the process a little bit?
I think in the back of our heads we did, because when you're breaking the story, like we did the part one as kind of like our little tease, our little intro, right? And that was like the first intro chapter, or the first episode of a mini series, what
Mm-hmm.
have you. And for better or for worse, that kind of set us up to have the next arc, or the next two arcs, um, because when we started writing part two, it just made sense. We need to end here,
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
because that's the best point to end a volume. Otherwise, we just have to finish it,
Yeah.
and we can't do 200, pages right now.
Yeah.
right.
And so we're like, but this is an excellent part to end. So we knew our end point, and when we were drawing up the arc, it just fit. We were like, well, 108 pages, that's what it is.
Yeah. And then for book three, as Ethan was saying, we already know, and that one, we haven't started yet, but we're thinking it's going to be also like a 75 to 80 page, like something. So yeah, it's like once you get into it though, we might be like, oh, maybe we need 6 extra pages. I don't know, but
it's interesting, because if we just started off thinking we're writing the full graphic novel, it would have been different. The pacing would have been different, for sure. Because when you're ending, like, oh, I have to end at this point right here. So you're trying to make it super enticing, but yeah.
Yeah. I I love that. I love kind of getting the behind the scenes a little bit. If without going into too much spoiler detail, if someone's like, got excited about the first one, what can they expect out of this new arc, this new volume here?
well, my first thing is more punishments.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
definitely that's why like
Yeah,
definitely darker, leaning darker.
yeah,
Just a lot happens, a lot. Like if you think about the first one, really getting to know the characters,
Mhm.
setting up that world, the emotional um, like trials and tribulations. Like this one goes even further. It like
yeah.
goes higher and just
I
yeah,
mean,
a lot.
it goes. We were talking about this before. I mean, it is really kind of on the nature of human behavior. I
Mm,
mean, really,
Mhm.
the choices you make and how you behave and treat other people, and what those consequences are,
Yeah.
and whether or not you are held accountable. I mean, that is the nature of Shockheaded Peter. Punishing, he has his code. Past
Yeah.
12 years old, your days of innocence are cold. Trespass without guilt or remorse might be good or bad at the source. Repeat these offenses in due time. Your punishment will fit your crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that comes to mind too is what we were talking about, a lot of heart. Like we do see our heroine go through some really, really tough
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's some stuff like that. We think like it's heart wrenching. We're like, oh man, this is so sad.
Yeah.
And with our artist with Joe, like he does like just like the expressions, it's like heartbreaking. Like there's some moments that you're like really, I think, really invested in and like
mm,
just touched
Well,
with.
like
Yeah.
the thumbnail for the project page, it's Ruby clutching her heart with her heart monitor going and just her eyes. And it just, to us, that's like a very, you know, not to
Well, it's
play on
that
words, heartbreaking
well,
moment.
but it's also
yeah.
a very intense moment. But I
Yeah.
think it's like there's definitely a lot of things are revealed, some things that were set up. Like, of course, like there's going to be some things that
Yeah.
revelations, and then
Mythology.
the more of the mythology, and then of course we're going to leave it in a place where you're going to be like, okay, now I
have to.
really need to know
Yeah.
what happened. So I just think like this one's going to be a bigger adventure and yeah.
I'd say for a horror fantasy or fantasy horror book, there is quite a lot of humanity in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. How do you balance that as writers, trying to, how much humanity, how much horror you put in to find that balance that kind of really works? Like, is there a lot of rewrites for that, or what's a process like that for you to kind of figure out the flow, the balance for that as writers?
I mean, I think we lean emotion first. We
Mm,
lean character first.
Yeah, character driven.
And then we'll dress that up in whether it be horror and or fantasy. I think for us it's weird. We call it horror fantasy, but for some reason we've just been living in this world. It just feels normal. I don't know if that's distortion or not, or if I have to go talk to someone.
Well, or you think of these like archetypes of people, right? And like that walk amongst us. So it's also relatable. Like I think like that's one thing also when you read comics or graphic novels, like some things may feel really heightened, but it's still rooted in something that we can relate to, you know? And I think
Yeah.
that's why there's such a great audience for this medium, because at the end of it, something with a good story and that you can connect with is
Yeah.
just going to speak to people.
Yeah, that's why I love either horror and or sci-fi stories or books, because they're a great way to comment on society and or humanity or culture without getting too heavy-handed into it, and also being a little bit emotional. I mean, they're just wonderful,
Yeah.
little venues.
Yeah, but just like the balance, I guess it's like at the end of the day, it's like, yes, you're looking at it technically, but like, how do you feel? Like, it's almost like a gut thing. Like, you're like, okay, like now it feels right. Okay, now that line, you're always like tinkering with like, is that the right line? Should we make it more concise? Like, yeah, there's always tinkering until you're published.
I mean, to be more direct answer to your question, I guess, as far as how do you do the horror and I guess we put ourselves in the mentality of like, well, this guy, he punishes people, this is what he does, or he does these things, what would I do? Or
but also but it's like, but why? He doesn't just do it. He does have a code, and he doesn't just do it to be like, some crazy monster. It's like there's a reason he does it, and he's justified why, so it's like every villain always thinks they're the hero, right? And every hero might be someone else's villain, so it's like that dichotomy, and it's just it's complicated,
Yeah, right. Like Thanos thought he was doing what was right for the world, and that like every villain is a hero in their own story.
Because then he'll say something about destroying the universe, and you're like, huh, okay, that kind of made sense. Shoot.
Right. Yeah.
And then you do still have some that just want to watch the world burn. And then that's a whole nother avenue.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's kind of like the balance is just kind of,
always going, starting from the emotional core, whatever that emotional core is, doesn't always mean that they're so sensitive that, there could be anger, there could be revenge, there could be, but it's always justified because of a reason. Something happened.
Yeah, there's a fight, there's a fight for either, your own survival or protecting your loved ones or for your moral, whatever it is, right. there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
As writers, like you talk about going with the heart first, and I'm sure as creating someone, it's Ruby, right? That's Yeah. So creating Ruby, I feel like it's almost like you spend so much time with Ruby, like it's your own kid. And like, do you have to like separate that sometimes of like, oh, we can't put her through this?
No, funny. Honestly, there is sometimes we would write something, or like she would write something, I'd look at it, and I'd write something, look at it, and then it'd be like, you can't do that. No, that's too much. Or oh, that's not enough. Or there will be moments where you're like, that's too raw.
Yeah. But I think that's good too when you're collaborating, because like if you're like writing all on your own, of course, you could speak with people, but like this is a great way to feel it out before it's there. And then obviously when Joe does the art, sometimes it's like, oh, okay, should we adjust this or that? So I think it's like going through those different phases.
But yeah, because you do get attached to these characters, and then Joe will add a separate layer of extra emotion on top of it, and you're like, oh, you're like, we got to adjust some dialogue now, or what if we do this now? So that happens sometimes. We don't like to make too much work for him on top of it, but when he gives us ideas from what he does, which is really good, we're like, let's capitalize on this. Like there's a character that we do a whole side chapter in that you just think is just this horrible person, and it's just like an 8-page chapter on him that's just this whole emotional, heart-wrenching epic. And so,
but he's an integral part of the story. It's not like this side character we just grabbed. It's like, as we said, we're going deeper.
You find out.
Yeah. There's a lot of revelations that come up as well.
Is there anything about the Kickstarter, anything that we haven't hit on yet that you're like, this is really exciting about this time around, or
Well, last time we just want to thank you again for giving the idea for the awesome gold foil bookmarks, like the Willy Wonka bookmarks that
Yeah,
we gave out.
that was
That was
amazing.
fun.
Yeah.
Um, I don't, this time around, oh, we have a really cool, it's going to be a ginormous 2-inch hard enamel pin of Ruby,
And
which
like
is
in
going
an
to be,
action pose, which is
yeah, she's
really
like total, like, it looks like superhero mode Ruby.
so good.
Yeah, she's like the thing we love about Ruby is she has a broken heart, but she's got so much like rage inside that you're just like you want her to like you go girl,
but
you do it. We do what you need to
yeah.
do.
And soul, she's like she's fighting for what's for a lot of
So
things.
a pin, this awesome pin, the variant covers. What else are we doing?
The
Oh,
new
yeah, we're
cards.
expanding our trading card
Oh,
set.
nice.
It's really awesome,
Yeah.
garbage pail style, shock-headed shenanigans, we call them. Trying to think, we were just working on these later.
Yeah,
Today.
there's some stuff with like last time we did a draw me in, which was really popular actually, and we do those limited, and that one like completely got sold out, so we're doing that
You
again.
draw your business in the town of Winding Springs.
Yeah, so
we got an amazing acting school last time that now lives inside Winding Springs.
yeah,
So that can be you.
yeah. So fun things, yeah. So we're just trying to again really put a lot of love in the books being really great and premium books, and these other fun things. Yeah, and then we'll see some fun events with like stretch goals, which will come up, and yeah, we're just kind of
but the book itself is going to be a nice hefty solid book.
I'm excited. I still have my ticket in my comic room
Oh,
area
nice.
there and stuff, and the book,
Awesome.
and now I'm gonna be like looking at a Kickstarter campaign because I'm like, I think they might need a bearded comic bro comic shop in this town.
yeah.
So
now, honestly,
I might be like, what is this reward tier that I gotta?
Hey, Winding Springs would be happy to have that shop.
If you can buy real estate in the metaverse, you can buy real estate in Winding Springs.
Right? It's so good. It's so good. Well, anything about this book, this stuff, as we're wrapping up, I want to respect your time of that we haven't gotten to hit on that you're like, besides back to Kickstarter.
I mean, I think we're just really excited to have this story out in the world.
Yeah.
We're really proud of it. We think it's fun, it's kooky, it's dark, it's messed up at times. We think people will just really enjoy discovering this, and we invite you just to come on in, see the world and enjoy it with us.
Yeah, and of course there's the catch-up tier too. In case you didn't get, book one, you can always get book one with the new book and
new revised edition.
Yeah, and again, inviting you into this world, and also the journey is going to continue, and it's only getting better. So
yeah,
I love it. Gang, check the link in the description of this video for the Kickstarter, or if you're listening on audio, go back Shockheaded Peter. Again, I love volume 1. I'm excited to check out volume 2 and go deep into this. Where can people follow along with both of you, stay up to date with what you're working
on? Social media, any social media, my handle is EBK from LA.
And mine's, you can follow me on Instagram at Jess_Silvetti, which is my whole name.
Nice. And before, I'd be remiss, I have you both on. I got to go put my kids to bed here real soon. So I need a bedtime story. What's a good one I can tell that I can make up besides sucking on the thumb and it falls off?
There is.
Oh yeah, this is the book.
This was Mark Twain did a translation of it. Believe it or not, there is one really messed up one of a kid who won't eat.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking about.
Or no, he eats too much. Is it?
No, I think he.
The Tale of Soupy Casper.
Yes.
He won't eat his soup, right? So then his family won't feed him, and then he grows really skinny.
I mean, here, look at this. Yeah, it's pretty. It's this one on this side.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And then there's the grave.
Yeah, at the end.
This is a children's story.
Yeah. So that's a good bedtime story.
Great.
And
I'm with my 8-year-old tonight, so she'll love that.
Eat your peas or else.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
That's so good. Well, thank you both just for taking some time to talk about comics with me.
Of course.
Thank you so
Pleasure.
much. Awesome
Yes.
to see you.
And go back Shockheaded Peter, Volume 2. Like I said, click the links in the description of the video, and hopefully you can find some time to curl up, grab a book, and nerd out. Peace.